I never imagined that such a simple morning habit could have such a big impact on brain health, but after years as a neurologist, I see the risks every day in my clinic. Most people start their day on autopilot without realizing that their routine could quietly increase the risk of stroke, especially as we get older. I've met countless patients who believe their habits are harmless, but the reality is often very different. Today, I want to share a real warning, a common practice that I see in so many seniors and that even surprised me as a brain doctor. This isn't just theory. It's based on science and real-life cases I've followed closely. If you care about protecting your mind as you age, it's time to take a closer look at what happens in those first moments after you wake up. Stay with me, because understanding this risk might help you prevent a problem before it starts and give you the confidence to build safer, healthier mornings. And don't forget to subscribe for more trusted tips on keeping your mind and body sharp every day. As a neurologist, I feel a responsibility to speak up about something that truly surprised and honestly alarmed me in recent years. There is a very common morning habit, especially among seniors, that can quietly double the risk of stroke. Many people don't even realize how dangerous this daily routine can be. I've seen it in my own clinic, in the stories my patients tell, and now I can't ignore the warning signs. What is this habit? Skipping breakfast and reaching straight for a strong cup of coffee on an empty stomach, or while rushing to begin the day and feeling that early morning stress. It seems innocent, almost everyone does it, but for the aging brain and blood vessels, it's a serious threat. Too many of my patients wake up dehydrated, skip water, and go straight to caffeine, all before eating anything. This pattern is more than just common, it's practically a ritual for millions. Yet, the combination of dehydration, sudden caffeine intake, and stress spikes blood pressure in a way that is especially risky for older adults. I have listened to so many seniors describe headaches, dizziness, or heart palpitations after this exact routine. The medical evidence backs up their experiences. The most shocking part is how often this goes unnoticed by both patients and doctors. When someone feels dizzy or anxious in the morning, they rarely connect it to their coffee habits. I have seen cases where a lifetime of normal mornings ended with a preventable stroke, simply because of this overlooked behavior. I share this not to scare you, but to open your eyes. Our brains and our blood vessels are deeply affected by small daily decisions. If you're over 60 or have any risk factors for stroke, I urge you rethink your morning routine. The right start to your day could protect your brain for years to come. Let me explain why this morning habit is so risky for your brain and blood vessels. When you wake up, your body is naturally a bit dehydrated because you haven't had any water for hours. If you immediately drink coffee on an empty stomach, the caffeine triggers a rapid spike in blood pressure. For seniors, whose blood vessels may already be fragile, this sudden increase creates the perfect conditions for a stroke. The caffeine also causes vasoconstriction, which means your blood vessels temporarily narrow. In some people, this makes the heart pump harder, adding even more stress to the circulatory system. This effect is magnified if you're also feeling anxious or rushed. Those early morning stress hormones make your body even more sensitive to these changes. I've seen this combination lead to severe headaches, or in some cases, even brief neurological symptoms. Over time, this repeated stress causes inflammation and can weaken the smallest blood vessels in the brain. This is especially concerning for those with a history of high blood pressure, diabetes, or vascular problems. I've reviewed scans and test results showing microbleeds or small areas of damage in people who thought their routine was harmless. The scientific evidence supports what I see in my practice. Morning coffee on an empty stomach is far from harmless. What's especially worrying is that these changes often go unnoticed until something serious happens. Patients will tell me, "But I've always had coffee first thing in the morning." Unfortunately, our bodies become less resilient with age, and what worked at 30 or 40 can become dangerous later in life. That's why I am so passionate about raising awareness on this topic. If you care about protecting your brain and reducing your stroke risk, it's not just about medication or genetics. It's about the choices you make each morning. Start with hydration, be gentle with your routine, and give your brain the best chance for a healthy day. In my years of practice, I've learned that not everyone reacts the same way to morning routines, but some people are especially vulnerable. Seniors over 60 are at the top of this list. As we age, our blood vessels naturally become less flexible, and our ability to regulate sudden changes in blood pressure declines. That's why what might seem like a harmless cup of coffee in your 30s can turn into a real danger in your later years. If you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or a family history of stroke, this morning habit is even riskier for you. I often see patients who are managing multiple health conditions, and for them, the combination of dehydration and caffeine can trigger sharp blood pressure spikes. Those who take anticoagulants or other heart medications are also in a higher risk group, as these drugs interact with how your body responds to stress. Many people underestimate the impact of age itself. With every decade, our vascular system loses some resilience, and it becomes much harder for the brain to handle quick, dramatic changes. I've seen patients who never had problems before, but after 60 started experiencing headaches or even transient ischemic attacks, mini-strokes, tied to their morning habits. Stress plays a major role. 2. If you wake up feeling anxious or overwhelmed, your stress hormones can magnify the effect of caffeine on your heart and blood vessels. I always remind my patients, a calm, gradual start to your day is much safer than immediately jumping into action with coffee and no breakfast. If you fit any of these risk categories, please don't ignore these warnings. Making small changes in your morning routine can have a big impact on your brain health, and may be the difference between a healthy day and a dangerous one. As a neurologist, I always look for solid scientific evidence before making recommendations. The link between morning blood pressure spikes and stroke risk is well documented in medical literature. Large-scale studies and neuroimaging research consistently show that the first few hours after waking are a high-risk period for vascular events, especially in seniors. Ambulatory blood pressure monitoring, or MAPA, allows us to see these real-world spikes. I have reviewed numerous studies where participants wore monitors for 24 hours. The data clearly reveal that people who start their day with coffee on an empty stomach, especially under stress, experience sharper and higher blood pressure increases than those with more gentle routines. For people with pre-existing risk factors, these surges are even more pronounced. Neuroscience has helped us understand why this is so dangerous. Sudden increases in blood pressure can cause tiny tears in the walls of blood vessels or trigger microbleeds, damage that adds up over time. This is often invisible on standard scans, but with advanced imaging, we can see signs of chronic vascular stress in people who regularly practice this morning habit. Clinical trials have also confirmed the dangers of combining dehydration, caffeine, and stress first thing in the morning. Even in healthy adults, there's a measurable impact on cognitive function, memory, and vascular health. For seniors, these effects can lead to more serious outcomes, such as transient ischemic attacks or even full-blown strokes. This is why I urge my patients and anyone who values brain health to take these findings seriously. Changing how you start your day is a simple, evidence-based way to reduce your stroke risk and protect your brain as you age. Over the years, I've guided many patients towards safer, healthier morning routines, and it doesn't have to be complicated. The first and most important step is to drink a glass of water right after waking up. Hydrating your body before anything else gives your blood vessels and brain a much-needed boost, reducing the risks of those dangerous pressure spikes. I always suggest gentle stretching before breakfast or coffee. Even a few minutes of slow movement can help wake up your circulation and ease you into the day. It's a simple practice, but it can make a real difference for your vascular health, especially if you're over 60 or have other risk factors. Another tip I share is to wait at least 30 minutes after waking before having your first cup of coffee. Give your body time to adjust and stabilize. Your brain and blood vessels will thank you. If you can, have a small, healthy breakfast or even a piece of fruit before reaching for caffeine. This buffers the effect of coffee and keeps your system balanced. For those who wake up feeling anxious or stressed, I recommend trying a few minutes of deep breathing or a short meditation. Calming your mind at the start of the day can keep your heart rate and blood pressure in check and sets a positive tone for the hours ahead. I've seen patients greatly improve their energy and focus just by adopting this simple routine. Small changes like these are both practical and powerful. They don't take much time, but they can dramatically lower your morning stroke risk and help you feel your best every single day. As a neurologist, I cannot stress enough how important it is to recognize the warning signs that mean you need to seek medical attention immediately. If you ever experience a sudden, severe headache, blurred vision, numbness or tingling in your arms or face, or your blood pressure reads above 180/120 in the morning, don't wait. Get help right away. These symptoms can be the earliest indicators of a stroke or other serious vascular event. In my practice, I always encourage patients to monitor their blood pressure at home, especially if they have a history of hypertension or other risk factors. Regular tracking can reveal dangerous morning spikes and help you and your doctor adjust your routine or medications as needed. Early intervention is one of our best defenses against stroke. For those who have recurring symptoms, like frequent headaches, morning dizziness, or memory problems, I recommend a full neurological evaluation. This can include advanced brain imaging, blood work, and sometimes an ultrasound of the carotid arteries. Identifying issues early allows us to take targeted action before they become life-threatening. If you are on medications like anticoagulants or have a history of stroke, always check in with your cardiologist or neurologist before making any changes to your morning routine or caffeine intake. Your care plan needs to be personalized to keep you safe, especially as you age or if your health status changes. Finally, remember that prevention is always easier than treatment. Don't ignore your body's signals, and don't hesitate to reach out for medical advice if something feels wrong. The right steps taken early can protect your brain, preserve your independence, and give you peace of mind for the future. If you truly want to protect your brain and lower your stroke risk, it all starts with your daily choices. Even small changes in your morning routine, like hydrating first, delaying coffee, and listening to your body, can make a huge difference for your long-term health. As a neurologist, I've seen how prevention is always better than treatment, and it's never too late to start making smarter decisions. If you experience warning signs like severe headaches, high blood pressure, or numbness, don't ignore them. Early action saves lives and can prevent lasting damage. Regularly checking your blood pressure and speaking with your doctor about your morning habits is one of the best ways to stay ahead of hidden risks. I invite you to join our members club for exclusive updates, in-depth advice, and a supportive community focused on healthy aging. Let's share knowledge and look out for each other. Leave your questions or experiences in the comments below. I read them all, and your story could help someone else. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more trusted health advice. Your brain deserves your attention every single day. Stay well and start your mornings with care.